Webheads, it's Tuesday, which means it's only one day away from New Comic Book Day, but hey, it's never too early to start that pull list for next comic book week. Hey, all my webheads out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, I am your host, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you my top 10 most anticipated comic books for January 27th, 2021. That's right, guys, it's never too early to start that pull list for next week. And fans, hopefully this helps you make decisions on what comic books to buy. And guys, if you want to support Comic Book Corner 2.0, just go on my home screen, become a member, hit that join button. And again, it takes the channel a long way. And I want to thank all of you for taking the time, as always, as watching, hitting that bell, subscribing, and all that great stuff. So thank you guys, and let's get started with this week's Hot Seat. That's right. So the Hot Seat book is always the book that I'm thinking about dropping, or it might be a series that I might try picking up again. It just depends on the comic book week. And this week's Hot Seat goes to Fantastic Four. This is issue 28. Now, I have not read Dan Slott's Fantastic Four in a very long time. So, guys, in the comments below, I want to know what you guys think of Dan Slott's run on Fantastic Four. Should I pick this book up? It looks like Silver Surfer is going to be in it, so that's why this kind of piques my curiosity in this. And is it easy to jump on board, or am I going to be completely lost? So this book, when it comes out, it is 28 pages, and this one is $4. We have a bunch of King in Black tie-ins coming out, so here are the ones that are going to be coming out in case you still want to collect these. The first one is Daredevil issue 26. I'm curious to see how this all ties in with the main story going on. Issue 25 was an amazing read. This is a spoiler just in case that by now, hopefully you know that Elektra is Daredevil, is the next Daredevil, while Matt Murdock is in prison. So I'm very curious to see if he's still in prison and then Elektra's trying to deal with the stuff that's going on the outside. So this definitely has my interest peaked here, right? So this is that King in Black tie-in, 28 pages, $4, or does it tie into it at all, right? It might not. All right, so the next one we have, which I'm just picking it up, honestly, because I'm getting all the King in Black tie-ins to complete the whole thing. And this is Savage Avengers. This is issue 17. It says Black Skies Part 1. So the way the title is described as that, yeah, this looks like it's going to tie in King in Black because the skies are black. And that's obviously because of the symbiotic goo that's covered up the atmosphere and blocked out the sun, right? So how are our heroes going to deal with Null and the symbiotic dragons in this? So could be interesting. King in Black tie-in here. This is also 28 pages. This one is $4. All right, next we have the next King in Black one is Deadpool. This is issue 10, the King of the Monsters versus King of the Dragons. So an evil ancient cult wants to kill Deadpool. It's not surprising. An evil ancient space god wants to kill Deadpool. Why does everyone want to kill Deadpool? Well, maybe because sometimes Deadpool is just annoying, right? So, yeah, we'll see how this ties in, how Deadpool does battle against Null. If he even interacts with Null is still yet to be determined. This is 44 pages, and this one is actually $5. So we'll see what happens here. The next one is probably the most disappointing tie-in out of all tie-ins, period. And this is Namor issue 3. This is called The Black Tide. And this book has been so disappointing on so many levels where it doesn't even mention King in Black or Null or anything, hardly at all. Supposedly, I think this Black Tide is going to be the people that actually help Namor, but by the time it gets to that point, I think people could care less of what happens of what's going on with Namor. So if you're still into this freaking title, this one is 28 pages and this one is $4. All right, so there is your King in Black. We'll get to Future State later in case you're still picking up those books. And we're going to go on to the other books, the top 10 books that I'm looking forward to. So the next one is Department of Truth, issue number 5. This is coming in at that number 10 spot, 32 pages. This is $4. And it says Chapter 5, New World Order. What is the Black Hat? So obviously, when it comes to Department Truth, if you've read this series, you know that this series has to deal with conspiracy theories at this point, right? So it's been a pretty decent series. It seems like it's a bit one-shotty. The art is very, it's kind of dark, and obviously it's very gloomy, and it's just muddy, and it makes you like hazy towards the story itself, kind of having you deal with the situation, what's going on in the story. It's kind of like, oh man, what's happening? Is this real? Is this not? Like, I can't quite make out. So it's like the art is done on purpose to kind of confuse you. So the story is okay. I'm starting to lose interest in it a little bit. So hopefully this next issue kind of picks up for me and continues the momentum for this story. All right, next, moving on at number 9. I don't think this is necessarily a comic, but this is for Star Wars fans, and this is Star Wars Insider. This is issue 200. So this is celebrating 200 issues of Star Wars Insider, and it reveals why, 200 reasons why we love Star Wars. So if you're a Star Wars fan like me, kind of grew up to Star Wars, kind of kicked off all this, sci-fi stuff and comic book collecting, that was kind of where it all started. This might be interesting for you, right? This book is 84 pages, and it also is $10. It has Mando on the main cover, and I'm trying to remember who did the variant cover here. I think it has a Peach Momoko variant. Could be somebody else. I don't even know at this point, but I'm sure I'm showing it on the screen. So if you're a collector of this, you might want to pick this one up. All right, next, coming in at number 8, this is Batman the White Knight, Harley Quinn, issue 4. So Harley's in pursuit of the Golden Age killer. That's what this story has been about. It's about a person that's been killing all these, former movie stars and whatnot, and it's been pretty good. You haven't seen too much of Bruce Wayne in this particular series, but nevertheless, the artwork is solid. It's not quite Sean Murphy's artwork inside, and it's not quite as good as they say a Sean Murphy story. He's had a hand in writing it, but it's okay. It's been one of those books where it started off really good, and I'm kind of losing a little bit in interest, but it's still all right for me. I'm curious to see where they're going to go with it. This one is 32 pages, and this one is $5. All right, next, coming in at number 7, we have Wolverine issue 9. So in the last issue where it said, oh yeah, this is the 350th issue of Wolverine, we're going to have Wolverine, go against Maverick. Yeah, that didn't happen in the last issue. Shit, we didn't even see him in the last issue. It was just flashbacks. So hopefully in this issue, we will get to see Maverick. And then you also get to see Wolverine now as he is going to be Patch once again. And so that could be kind of cool. And I think part of the story in this one is that there's an auction going on in superhero artifacts. So that could be a lot of fun too, as that could trigger some bad memories for Logan as well. So this, again, part of that reason why this is a little bit more highly anticipated in some of the other books is that auction that's going on with these artifacts. It could be a lot of fun there. All right, so let's move on to number 6. And number 6 goes to Year Zero. This is volume 2. This is issue 3. This book's been a lot of fun, as once again you get to see perspective from 4 different people on what's going on with this zombie apocalypse, and I think that's awesome. But the best story that's in this is about a girl who gets trapped in a big box store. That's actually where she worked at, and she actually she's pregnant in there, trapped, and she's got to fight off the zombies and whatnot. The main cover of this is awesome, and that's been the best story. Like, I'm just following it basically because of her. Some of the other stories stories are pretty cool, as you get a Norwegian sea captain who has 2 young grandchildren who's fighting off zombies in like the water, and people are trying to take over his boat. You get a Colombian cartel boss who's in here too, who has all the women that he wants, but yet, you know, there's a lurking danger besides the zombies that's going on. So there's some pretty cool stuff that happens in this book. I've really enjoyed it. If you haven't checked out Year Zero, there's a volume 1, and this again is volume 2, issue number 3. And this one goes for 32 pages, $4 from AWA Upshot. All right, next, coming in at number 5, we have Captain Marvel. This is issue 25. Now, Captain Marvel has been really good as we get to see Carol as she's gone to this futuristic Earth, and it happened once before in Captain Marvel's like The End miniseries, and now we get to see Kelly Thompson revisit the character, go back to this world, and she's come across these characters, and we found out that a bunch of characters or heroes that she knows was captured by this particular villain, I guess, that's powering his city, which I thought was really interesting. And when you found out that the torture that this character's been going through, you're kind of like, oh man, that sucks. So Captain Marvel's actually been a really good book. There's some really good emotional beats in here. I definitely recommend it. I think Kelly Thompson's writings have been actually I think it's been getting better year after year. I've been enjoying a lot of her stuff. And one of the titles I actually really do like from her is Black Widow. I definitely recommend that series for you as well. All right, so moving forward here, we got number 4. This goes to Strange Academy. This is issue 7. So big things happened in issue 6. We got to see our heroes, our young Academy heroes, doing battle against these weird people, and Doctor Strange put them in some, like, I don't know, tree or spell or something like that. But we wound up getting to see a death in the last issue, and it's the guy that you see right here on the main cover. I think his name was Doyle. I don't remember. He's Dormammu's son, and it just looks like he is completely dead. Is he truly dead? We don't know. And if he comes back, does he come back the same way that he once was? And I think that's all yet to be determined. But this is where I feel for our young Academy heroes, where they realize that things are real and things can really happen to them that can be serious. So I think it took a while for this series to get going, but I think now things are starting to pick up here. We'll see where this title goes. So this is Strange Academy issue 7, 28 pages. This one is $4. All right, next we have X-Men. This is issue 17. The last issue was pretty cool. This one is Storm the Empire. When the Shire Empire asks the X-Men for help, Cyclops, Storm, and Marvel Girl answer the call. So we get to see kind of, I guess, the end of the last issue where we're going to see Jean Grey and Cyclops form their own team once again. So the X-Men title has always been one of the stronger ones when it comes to the X books. I personally like Marauders as well. If you're a Kitty Pryde fan, I can understand why you're going to love that series. X-Men series has always been a little bit all over the place. It's trying to gain its momentum back from Ten of Swords, and I'm curious to see where this goes and how it keeps going and how this new team is going to form. So again, X-Men 17, this is issue, the price of this is $4. Can't talk. All right, so coming in at number 2, and you might be surprised at this one a little bit, especially since I've been so hard on it, and this is The Amazing Spider-Man. This is issue 58. It's quite interesting because we've basically got the end of his story arc, and now we got him to plant seeds throughout this whole story of what's going to happen with Spider-Man. And when it comes to Peter himself, is his psyche broken, right? He is really messed up. I mean, he got killed and resurrected a bunch of times, and based off of the last issue, you can tell that he's very angry. He's not giving Norman any more chances. He doesn't want anything to do with Harry. I mean, he was very violent, very destructive in the last issue, and I want to see where Nick Spencer continues to take Peter Parker going forward. You know, does he go back to his old ways, or does this really scar him and change the character for life? So now that this whole issue, this whole thing with Kindred is kind of over for now, I want to see what these future stories are like. And it looks like he's going to, based off of the cover, he's going to be doing battle against Mr. Negative, which is like not my favorite character at all. I hate that guy. So we'll see what happens with Spider-Man here. Okay, so before we get to number one, yes, we have to talk about those future state books, everybody. And the first one we're going to talk about is one that, ooh, this makes me cringe. This Legion of Superheroes issue 1. This one is done by Brian Michael Bendis. I could care less about this book, but you know, for review purposes, I made it a thing to where I'm going to buy these. We're going to talk about them on my weekly live stream with my friends over on Comic Frontline on Comic Book Weekly. We're going to talk about all these future state books. So I'm making a sacrifice here. Legion of Superheroes. That's what's coming out there. Next, another one. This seems like this could be the worst slate of future state books yet. Aquaman issue 1. Based off of the covers, I don't know what's going on here. Like, is that their daughter, Andy Curry, when she was a little bit younger? Like, what's happening in this particular book? I don't know. I'm not excited about this Aquaman book. This is 32 pages, and this is $4. Next one, another book that I'm not so excited about. Superman vs. Imperious Lex. Like, it just doesn't look interesting to me. Like, I don't know. It's like there's no Superman around, and Lex Luthor is like in charge of everything. I don't like all these alien creatures around him. Who knows though? It could be a good book. It could be the better one of them all. But the way some of these future state books have been, you know, if you think that they're going to be a dud, it actually delivers as a dud. So we'll see what happens there. I'm so negative towards these. This one could be interesting. Suicide Squad issue 1 future state. This is part 1 of 2, and the other story in here has to do with Black Adam as well. This one is 48 pages, and this one is a $6 book. So if you're on a budget and you don't care about future state Suicide Squad or Black Adam in this one, then don't worry about picking this one up. The next one we have is Batman Superman. This is issue 1. This is $4. So this is a regular sized book, no backup stories. So you might want to buy this one instead of the Suicide Squad because it's a cheaper price point. And this has to do with the early days of the magistrate occupation of Gotham City. And Bruce Wayne found himself pushed to the edge like he's never have before, and so he's calling on the Man of Steel for backup for everything to make sense. So this one could sound interesting, could be the better of the bunch, if not one of the best. But of course, the last but not least, probably the best future state book out of the entire bunch, this one goes to Dark Detective. This is issue 2. And then this also has a backup story, Red Hood Part 1. So if you care about Jason Todd, you might like that backup story. And Dark Detective issue 1 was phenomenally written. So interesting to see what happened to Bruce Wayne, how he's still Batman right now, how he's just basically stripped down to basically nothing. He's the poor man's Batman, but he still feels like he has a mission to try to save Gotham, stop the magistrate, and how he's going to do that in future state. I don't know if he's going to. Who knows? He could truly die. So very interesting book. Love the artwork by Dan Mora. Some of the best that I've seen in a while. Can't wait for this particular part 2 of this story. Again, 48 pages for this book. All right, and then last but not least, my number 1 most anticipated comic book for January 27th, 2021 goes to Something is Killing the Children. This is issue 14. And I think this is the end of the current story arc. And it says, to save the town, Erica must take on the brood of monsters on her own. And Tommy is faced with a decision that makes life or death. So if you guys have been reading Something is Killing the Children, you obviously know that there's these crazy creatures that are out there killing children, and the humans can't see them. In fact, only a selected few of humans can see them. But the girl by the name of Erica Slaughter is the one that can help destroy them, but she comes across many obstacles and a lot of bad things happen in this book. If you have not read this series, I definitely say go out there, get the trades, read it. Again, I think this is the last issue of the story arc, and then it's going to be continuing from there. How it continues, I have no idea, but I'm looking forward to it, and the artwork is gorgeous. I love the mysterious aspect of Erica Slaughter. I think she's awesome, and I love her name. So there you have it. There are my top 10 most anticipated comic books for January 27th, 2021, and some. So guys, hopefully you like this list, and it helped you make decisions on what comic books to buy as usual. And guys, if you like this content, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell. And if you like the content also, I'll leave you more right here to check out. And until next time, guys, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye.